Ukraine has increased its attacks against Crimean Peninsula, and because of this, Russia started evacuating its officers and other important people from Kherson region. And because Russia realizes that the defeat is inevitable, right now they are concentrating even more of its forces on the territory of Belarus, preparing most likely for one final terroristic attack, most likely on August 24th. But more about all of this in a couple of minutes. What's up, investors? It's the Russian Dude. And let's begin by talking about most recent attacks of Ukrainians against Crimean Peninsula. First of all, as you can see from this video, Ukrainians were able to destroy several military objects of Russians in this small region of Jankoy. And amongst such destroyed objects was the military warehouse and power lines. In addition to that, a local railroad has also been damaged, which was reported to be used by Russians to relocate its military vehicles. But as for now, Russians already started to do the repairs. And as you can see from this satellite image, this is basically the consequences of these attacks against military objects of Russians. In addition to that, a black smoke was spotted on top of military airbase of Russians in Gvardeyskaya region. As for now, there are no direct confirmations whether this attack was successful, but as you can see from this satellite image taken before the potential attack, Russians had plenty of planes stored in this airbase. But anyways, right before I talk about Ukrainians destroying two more extremely important military objects of Russians in Kherson region, here is the reaction of population of Crimea to these most recent events. So first of all, in this video we can see Russian tourists trying to leave Crimean Peninsula using Crimean Bridge. This evacuation started last week, but just in two most recent days more than 38,000 cars crossed this bridge. And guess what? Russian propaganda highlighted this event as something positive. They basically said that yes, more than 38,000 cars crossed this bridge, but they never mentioned that this was mostly in one direction, leaving the peninsula. So what it basically means after reading this article is that the situation in Crimea is absolutely perfectly normal and everything is under control. But then you have another report that claims that this bridge will be closed starting right now all the way until 6 AM August 17th. And according to Russian propaganda, the reason why they're closing this bridge at this specific time, it is because Ukrainians are planning to destroy it. But what most likely is happening is that some important Russian government officials are trying to leave Crimea as well. And obviously they don't want to be in this traffic with just these regular peasants. But anyways, I'll talk more about evacuation of Russian officers and other important people very soon. And just really quick one more video from Crimea. And as you can see right here, there is a convoy of Russian military vehicles driving around the peninsula. Alright, and now let's go to Kherson region. And while I'm doing this, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you like this style of daily updating. So the first video comes to us from Novokakhovka, and it has been reported that Ukrainians were able to destroy another military warehouse of Russians. And then if we go a little bit to the east, we can see that Ukrainians were attacking Antonovsky Bridge once again. This has been a very notorious bridge for this war, and Russians tried to rebuild it several times. But every single time all of their repairs end up with the bridge being destroyed even more. Then we go a little bit to the west to the city of Enerhodar. And as you can see from this video, there was several attacks very close to a children's playground. And basically, as a result of all these attacks against the plant, the local residents of Enerhodar started leaving this city, as you can see from this video. And right before I talk about Russians evacuating its military officers from Kherson region, here's just literally a couple of words from Berdyansk. As you can see from this picture, there was an explosion in Berdyansk port. It has been reported that this port had several military boats of Russians, but as always, the result of this explosion was just a welding accident. Alright, and now as promised, let's talk about the evacuation of Russians from Kherson. According to head of Mykolaiv region, Vitaly Kim, all of Russian officers and higher military personnel were ordered to evacuate to the south of Dnipro River. And what makes it even worse for the Russian army is that regular soldiers were commanded to defend their retreat. I mean, just imagine the value of a regular soldier life in Russian army after this. But anyways, the reason why this order was given, it is because most likely Ukraine is getting ready to do its counteroffensive in Kherson region, which can also be confirmed with the statements by the Kherson region representatives from Ukraine is that its residents needs to evacuate as soon as possible. In several seconds I'll be talking about extremely important updates from the east, but here is just one more video from Odessa. And as you can see right here, the explosion of a mine on one of Odessa beaches was recorded on camera. And so if you are watching this video from Odessa, please avoid going to the beach in the nearest future. Alright, and now let's go to the east. And as you can see from this video, the headquarters of Russian private military group called Wagner has been destroyed in Popasna. And as you can see right here, Ukrainians were able to hit Russian helicopter K-52 Alligator. Then we go to this small city of Rudakove, and as you can see from this video, another military warehouse of Russians has been destroyed. Our next stop brings us to the city of Lysychansk, where according to this video, Ukrainians were able to destroy a military headquarters of Russians. And in this video, which came to us from Pervomaisk, you can see Ukrainians destroying even more military objects of Russians using HIMARS. Very soon I'll be talking about this very concerning news that Russians are building its forces in Belarus, potentially for a terroristic act on August 24th. But first of all, allow me to show you a little bit more videos from the east. So right here, for example, you can see the night shelling of Slavyansk. It has been reported that these were Russians behind these attacks, and as a result, several civilian buildings were damaged. In our next video, which came to us from this small city of Avdiivka, we can see the consequences of Russians liberating Ukrainian cities. And as you can see, they allegedly want to save Ukrainians from Ukrainian Nazis, but as a result, they leave cities in ruins behind. And in this video from Vuhledar, we can see the explosion crater left behind after the night of Russian shelling. And by the way, if you want to see more footage like this, especially the one which I was not able to use in today's episode, please consider checking my Patreon. All the proceeds will be donated to Ukraine, and you can find all the useful links down below. Alright, and now just a couple of words about Kharkiv, and then we smoothly transition into this concerning situation in Belarus. It has been reported that Russians are now concentrating its efforts in order to attempt to invade Pitomnik. In addition to that, Russians have never stopped to shell Kharkiv, and the majority of these missiles, as you can see from this video, come from Belgorod. And as a result of this night shelling, a local tram park and some roads were destroyed. In response to these attacks, Ukrainian army continues to destroy military vehicles of Russians. And as you can see from this video, the Azov battalion was able to destroy several vehicles like this in this Tirnovo village. In addition to that, Ukrainians were also able to severely damage a railroad bridge next to Kupiansk. And to top all of this, Ukrainian kamikaze drone was able to destroy the Russian radio tower in Belgorod region. And it has been reported that this radio tower was used to collect intelligence on Ukrainians. Alright, and now probably the most important part of the video. If you remember, last week several explosions were heard in Zyabryvka airport, which is located next to Belarusian city of Homel. Both Russia and Belarus declined that these were Ukrainian attacks. But as you can see from this satellite image, potentially a Russian radar has been destroyed. But then even more recent satellite images, which you can see right now, they show that Russians are relocating even more of its military forces to this airport. It is estimated that among these vehicles there are dozens S-300 and S-400 missile launchers, Il-76 airlifters, and multiple military warehouses. The commander-in-chief of Ukrainian army, Valery Zaluzhny, says that this situation is of a great concern. He says that every single day there are approximately 700 to 800 shellings happening on the territory of Ukraine. And most likely this increase in shellings is to help Russians hide its relocations to Belarus. And here is potentially unsettling reason for all this recent activity of Russians. If you remember, last week there was several reports, including from the highest military representatives of Ukraine, is that Russia is preparing a big provocation on August 24th. And today the commander-in-chief of Ukrainian Air Force, Yuri Ignat, he also confirmed that yes, according to his own intelligence, Russia is preparing a huge artillery attack on August 24th. Which also confirms my suspicions about this activity of Russians in Belarus, that most likely these attacks will come from that region. Right now we're only 1 week away from this date, and I'll keep a close eye on the development of this situation. Welcome to another episode of ridiculous Russian propaganda. And today we have this exhibition in Russian museum about just your typical regular Ukrainian family. As you can see from these pictures, your typical Ukrainian is a person who glorifies Nazism and apparently Satanism. In addition to that, Ukrainians also have weapons and barricades at home, and their only goal in life is to kill as many Russians as possible. And in order to achieve a bright future for Ukraine, they need to train their kids to hate Russia since they're young. And yes, if you want to know what's written right here, feel free to join my Discord. And if you want to support my work, please consider becoming my channel member. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe, and see you tomorrow.